Hello and welcome back to Slick Witty Fly. So I'm going to make a little bonus video. I was making nymphs and I was making some of these turkey Biot nymph. This is a blend of a few different flies that I kind of put together and I've had some success with. So I like them, I use them, they catch fish. I don't really have a name for it other than turkey Biot nymph. So what I'm using is a size 10 hook and a 2.8 millimeter tungsten bead, and I'm pretty sure that 2.8 millimeter is 1/8 of an inch. It's probably very close to that anyway. The hook that I'm using in this particular fly is the Kamasan B100. I normally don't tell you what hooks I'm using, but I don't know, I decided to today. And I'm gonna put it so that it's got a little bit of a downward slant, which will make it easier for me. Now I've pre-prepped a few things. I have turkey Biots sitting in water. And I'm actually using Goose Biots for the tail. I'm gonna use olive thread only because I'm using an olive bead and I'm using very natural colors. So I'm going to go ahead and put a thread base on, like you've seen me do a bunch of times. With this little curved hook, I can actually go a little bit farther than I normally go, which is kind of cool, and I'll show you why. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny little dubbing ball on the back of this fly, super small. Now the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to use Biots for the tail, and this will split the Biots and make everything under the Biots look buggy. So a nice and tight, really tight little ball right where I'm going to put the Biots. That is plenty right there. Almost too much, but that'll work. So like I said, I had pre-cut a couple of Biots. And I'm going to go ahead and put them on. I do them one at a time. There are lots of people who do this a million different ways. I'm not going to tell you that I'm the world's best at this. I'm more of a streamer guy. But I do some nymph fishing, and this is a nymph that works for me. So once I get one of them on, now I go ahead and put the other side on. And just about like anything else I do, I put it on with a couple of loose wraps and then I adjust. And I am not the guy that's scared to undo and come back and adjust. I will unwrap and wrap and unwrap and wrap as many times as needed. But I like that. I think that looks pretty good right there. You could see that they're splayed. They're sitting on top. I'm going to trim a little bit of this crazy stuff here. And the little bit of SLF Dubbing that I put on underneath is just going to make that tail look buggier. So now, what I'm doing, I'm using a little bit of thread to make a little bit of a body. I'm not really worried about making a body because I'm going to use a little UV resin which will make a body. So I'm grabbing a turkey Biot. And why am I using a turkey Biot? I'm using a turkey Biot because they're long. And I like the color. You know, this is the natural brown. I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much almost under, because I want it to end up on the side of the hook. This is the stuff that I'm not good at. I want to put it so that it lands on the side of the hook, just like that. Gotcha. Now I'm going to wrap my thread up. Now I'm going to use my hackle pliers. And God, I wish I had better hackle pliers. But I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up the body carefully. Now there's a reason that I used 2 turkey biots, because if this one doesn't go as far as I would want, which I'm unsure on right now, but I'm going to capture it right there. I'm going to cut this off. Actually, that might work. We're going to make that work. I could have added another turkey biot and brought it up farther. So now the next step I'm going to take is I'm going to put a little bit of UV resin on this body. And this is why I really wasn't too concerned about building a body, because this is going to give it a little bit more meat on the bones. I'm using a tiny bit of UV resin, but it does build a little bulk and it makes this fly really durable. Just making sure that I like where it ends up. I didn't put any UV on the dubbing. I didn't put any UV on the tail. It's only on this turkey biot. Nice. You know, they always say 5 to 10 seconds, but I always do more than 5 to 10 seconds. I always change the angle. And I'm always very careful not to stick my fingers in. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've been hearing rumors of ladies use this same technique when they do their fingernails. And I've been hearing rumors that they're getting skin cancer on their fingers from this UV lamp. So I keep my fingers out of the UV lamp. I don't know if that rumor is true or not true, but I don't have any reason to stick my fingers in there, so why take the chance? All right, so now I'm going to use a little bit more of this SLF Dubbing. And this is just a very tan natural color. And I'm going to put a hackle on. So my hackle, do I want to put the hackle on? Yeah, I do want to put the hackle on. We'll put the hackle on tips first. Just like that. Now I want to put a little dubbing on. The reason I spin my bobbin, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos, is because by spinning the bobbin, it gives the thread that naturally looping loop that I'm looking for. Nice and tight here on my dubbing. You know, this fly is going to be fairly durable. Is it as durable as maybe a pheasant tail nymph? Probably not, but it's a pretty durable fly anyway. So I'm just going to run this hackle up to the bead. Probably use the majority of the feather. It's not a big feather. Just like that. Wiggle my thread through. Wiggle my thread through. capturing the hackle, not capturing a lot of the trapped fibers here. Now I can take this hackle and trim it away. Just like that. I'm just pulling everything back a little bit because I don't want to trap a lot of these hackle fibers. Nice, super happy with that. So now I just give it a little whip finish. Super simple fly. Super easy to tie. It's one of these kind of flies that you have to have a bunch in your box because if you've ever gone nymphing, you're gonna lose a few. At least if you nymph the way I nymph. Set the hook on some rocks and there they go. So that is basically my turkey biot nymph. And the only thing I'm gonna do, like I do on a lot of flies, I'm gonna try and jam a little bit of this fly finish down into the knot as best as I can. Make it a little bit more durable. And there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me see if I can't give you a little bit better view. I don't like grabbing them when they're still a little wet like that. But there it is, super, super simple, super buggy looking. That little bead will help it sink. I use this most of the time when I nymph. I don't use any kind of an indicator. I just, you know, I use my fly line as my indicator. And yeah, this is a buggy little bug right here. This guy will get bit. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.